Andy, we're back. It's Sunday. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, let's just put it on the record right now so people can fucking throw it out there. We've got 4 whole weeks left in the football season.
Yep.
As of this morning, I am 9-3. If I beat the DC Jeffs, I'm 10-3 in fantasy. I clinched my division, and I clinched first seed throughout the playoffs. Well, that's not true. I'm still, depends on what the other guy does. But it's been a really good year, and I sustained and I was able to overcome Aaron Rodgers' injury by getting Carson Wentz. My management skills were fucking great.
That's amazing.
I am the top scorer in my fantasy league. Doesn't mean I'm going to win because the top 3 guys are only apart by 20 points, right? But I did it, and maybe I will not have Marty Schottenheimer luck, which I always have in the playoffs. I seem to always get knocked out right in the first round, don't I? It's like, I'm always Marty Schottenheimer.
Oh, Marty.
Marty,
I saw
right?
a special on Marty. Marty's got a little Alzheimer's going now. I kind of feel bad for when I saw
bad. Does he?
But, he's got a good woman behind him taking care of him.
Let's talk about that, because I've been on a good woman search, because I finally have grown up. You taught me, and I give you a lot of the credit. You notice
it's a give and take when you're in a true friendship.
It is.
You never let your friend slide. You always hold them accountable. That's a friendship. If you have a friend that's patronizing you, they're not a good friend.
It is, and I find each woman that I get is, progressively more interesting. And I realized that in life, in order to be the best version of myself, I need my co-creating high vibrational equal by my side, because you said it so eloquently today when we were working out.
Behind every good man is a strong woman. Strong woman's like a backbone. A bad woman's like your downfall. It's just pretty much that's the synopsis of that. Every good woman is the backbone of a man, and every bad woman is the downfall to that man. And you can look at history probably to prove that.
I only had one bad one. I can really honestly say in my entire life.
And it was the big downfall. Huh?
Yeah, I can only say, my entire life.
It takes one.
I know. I can say I only had one really bad person.
Yeah.
Really one evil person, which taught me a lot of lessons.
Yeah.
I learned a lot of lessons and I learned a lot of things, but truly evil to the core. Which, a witch beyond a witch, right?
I'd agree.
But we've talked about it, right? But what's great about it is the lessons that were brought forward in it. There's a lot of lessons in that. So everybody's going to have a bad person that comes in their life. Everybody's going to have that relationship that person is, they might be a covert narcissist, they might be bipolar,
and it's funny.
They might be.
It's always the sweetest too at the beginning. Those relationships are so bad. Oh, it's always the greatest at the beginning.
It's the
just
worst.
Amazing. You just never see it coming, and bam.
Well, you kind of see it coming because they treat their friends so much better. They seem to have this argumentative, competitive debate going on with you. Yet with their friends, they're really loving and great because their friends are actually the minions. People that literally just suck. You're so great, you're so great, and you're the only one that challenged them. But they also and this is what I always say: beware of. When someone tells you that the only way that you'll ever have passion in a relationship is if you have a little bit of conflict.
Yeah,
run.
It's time to run.
It's time to run.
Run for the hills.
There's a lot of, we've all dated, and women, look, you're listening right now and you say, my ex was an asshole, this guy was we've all had the asshole, and men, we've all had witchy poo. So we've all had witchy poo. The witchy poo experience is the worst experience in the entire world because it makes you doubt yourself in certain ways. It makes you go through things, but actually it makes you go through the greatest self-growth you'll ever have.
I think so.
Because you've realized that you've met somebody so bad, it ended out so poorly. The lessons were just so good that you end up, if you grow and you cleanse and you fucking give yourself a witchy poo exorcism, what happens next is that you actually go and meet somebody who's really your equal. Yeah. You're a fucking co-creator of magic.
Well, if they're like you, a lot of times what they'll do is go, why did that relationship go so bad? What was about this relationship that just made it just turn so, like a U-turn to the ugly town? And
it was always ugly.
And a lot of times you answer yourself, man, she had a great ass, or man, she was so hot. Bingo, we use our vanity to hide what we're really looking for. Oh, she's hot. It's okay that, she doesn't really like to work that much. I earn a good living. Then you fast forward a couple of years and she's not working at all and you're doing all the work making of a living. Things of that nature. But she's so hot. Or she's got such great ass. I had to date her and wife her and end up having a kid with her and you find out she has no maternal instincts. You have to lose your type, find your standards. We've been talking about this podcast
All year.
about it for all year.
All year. Go back and listen to them.
2016 too. Shit, we've been talking about this. I think. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's just you have to find what your standards are, and I guarantee you, if you find your standards, the way they look will be even better because then you see them from the inside out, and it makes them even prettier or even handsomer or whatever the case may be.
You said something to me that was always interesting, and it's so true. It's like when you find your standards in a pretty face, because you love beautiful faces too, right?
Yeah, I'm a face man.
Right?
I'm a body man.
If he hasn't been in shape for a year, you
care
always
less.
look at me and go, yeah, you always say that to me, which is always interesting because most guys would be like, oh, and maybe she had a fucking off year. Maybe she tore a fucking hamstring.
Maybe she was getting a PhD.
Maybe she was getting a PhD, didn't have time to work out, right?
Yeah.
She put on 10 pounds or 15 or 20 pounds.
Yeah.
You always said something to me, which most guys never do, and this is what I call the evolution of a real man. You're like, fuck it, we can work out together. It's
Yeah.
like, that's so easy. But
That's
you
so easy.
you
I
can't.
can't make you a good person.
No.
I can't. It takes you, and I'll give you a good example. I met a girl a couple years back. We hung out one time, and I couldn't get out of there fast enough. It was a meet and greet type thing. Let's meet, at the beach somewhere and just have a cup of coffee. Couldn't get out of there fast enough. I thought she was the ugliest person on the inside. Just didn't have it. A couple years later, fast forward, ran into her again. We reached out, we hung out. Completely different person. She evolved herself. She said, I was not a happy person then. I was going through things and I was lashing out on others. I had to get myself together and learn to be happy and look at the inside for the problems of the outside. And that's basically it. You have to find people who are willing to look at themselves first for a problem, not look at you. If every time something goes wrong, they go, well, you did, that's an indication right there. And no matter how good the sex is, or the head, or the licking, or whatever y'all are doing it's not worth the long-term hassle that's going to come from that. Behind every good man, every successful man, I trained some very legendary people in business and in music. And behind them are good women. When I say good women, there's no prenup. There's no, watching bank accounts and wondering what she's done. It's all about, well, if I have to get paid, I go see the wife. If I need this, I got to ask the wife if I'm doing this. I got to ask my boss. These people who run hundreds of millions and billion-dollar companies. Let me ask my boss. Let me ask the old lady. Or go see so and so on the way out. She'll pay you. Just to make sure. Just to make sure that things are done right, the woman's right behind their husband, making sure things are taken care of and they're on top of their game. Can I rub your back? Are you stressed? Let's get you out of your stressful situation so you can be more creative. Whatever the case might be, you have to back up somebody you believe in. You don't pull them down because they're headed in a direction faster than you want or they're not giving you enough attention. Well, maybe they're doing things for the better of your whole relationship right now, which requires less attention to you. You should be woman enough or man enough to say, okay, let me support them because this is about the greater for us, not just me. There is no I in team.
No, it's so funny, and it's something that I have learned to cultivate.
We all learned that.
We've all learned
and
that.
I'll tell you what, for me and Dave,
I like that I'm healthy. I'm doing it now very healthy, which is really nice. Creating,
for me and
because
Dave,
you taught me that.
we had to learn the hard way because for us, we're always detail-oriented guys. Women, we always, not womanizers, but we're always very good women. Womanizers are people who use and abuse women, and I don't even mean like sexual assault.
No, women throw themselves at us emotionally because we will and we've had women throw themselves at us sexually. You always said the reason why we both quit drinking liquor is because when a woman threw herself sexually at us after 20 minutes, we would leave. Yeah. And it kept us out
alcohol,
of alcohol kept us out of it. But it's interesting because when we experiencing something where it's an emotional, I think what we look for is an emotional equal, because when you have your emotional equal, and I know when experiencing an emotional equal adventure with somebody is far fucking different than anything I've ever experienced before, because you're on the same page every day when you wake up. There's a sense of security. And it's so funny too, because I talked to a really good friend of mine, and he always says to me, he says, you took your life as far as you can take it alone. And you've done a great job. Because I've been alone half my adult life, and I've been in, good relationships. Yeah. Good relationships. Never had the great one, because I would have been with somebody, right? Yeah. And I had one absolutely stressed out relationship, right? Which we all need to have and we all need to experience, right? Because it's
I think
the greatest
we're all gonna
growth.
have that whether we want to or not.
Yeah, we're all gonna have that, which is an honest thing. But to actually have somebody who know when you meet somebody who has your back is one of the greatest things in the world. And I understand the point of why people get married and why they have partners, because a man and a woman, it's the king and the queen running the country called us together every single day.
Teamwork.
And
Everything's team. We'll
most
figure
people
it
are
out.
individuals.
Yeah, exactly. And they want the other person to be their minion. And that's where a lot of the relationships go bad and you see a lot of downfall. That's why I say behind every successful man is a strong woman backing him up. And it doesn't have to be marriage. It can be girlfriend, boyfriend. I know a couple who spent 4.5 years living together and they just got engaged. And they've got friends who've known each other the same amount of time. They are married with a kid and they're on their way to divorce. They didn't rush. They didn't let anybody else dictate when they were going to do things. So by the time they got engaged, it was like, you guys have been married this whole time I've known you, so it's no big deal that you're getting engaged. Makes sense to me. It's just an easy transition. It's just, let's get rid of the formalities. Let's get the same insurance and let's get the same last name so it's easier for everything. Because at this point, you're just transitioning to the next phase because it's not even a transition. It's just a formality done. And that's what it should be because you take your time, you make sure everybody's on this solid footing, everyone's happy. And that takes also, men, for you to look at things 360. And I think a lot of men don't do that, so I want to interject this in here now. You have to look at things from the other side before you look at it from your side. If both sexes would do that, then you come out of relationships or you go into relationships or have relationships that are a lot better because you're going, she's mad and yelling, what did I do? She's just tripping. Instead of saying, she's just tripping, stop back and think, this morning did I this? Last night did I do something? Did she have a rough day at work? You know what? Maybe she's gone to the grocery store. I'll order her a Soothe massage. When she gets here, the lady will come in and give her a massage. And she's had a rough day. She just needs to wind down. Don't think about yourself. Think about how can I help that person get in a better spot instead of saying, they're tripping. It's just on them.
That's so funny. I'm going to edit this, and I think the same thing. How can I inspire you today is what I ask all the time. How can I make your life easier today? And what can I do to love you more today? And love, you don't have to say, and that's another thing too. Too many people are wordsmith. I love you, I love you, I love you. You know what? It's not the words. I'd rather hear, I just got a great text from the person I'm hanging with that was, about the thing that you and I were talking about. And it was support, right? Without sharing all the words in it. Full of support, right? Fucking great, because that's what it is. The word, anybody can go say, I love you. They love you, and then, a year later, they're fucking suing you for $1 million. They love you, right? That's not love.
Exactly.
That's not love.
I'd love for you to set me up so that I can continue living my life the same way or even better without you.
Exactly. I love you, but I don't. So words mean nothing. Actions mean everything. Behind every man is a great woman.
Don't say I love you, show it.
Yeah, exactly. Show it. Anyway, EddiePalmer12@gmail.com. Eddie will show you how you can be the best physical version of yourself, spiritual version of yourself.
Yes.
He can kick your ass 100 different ways.
360 health. It's 360 health. Mind, matter, and body. Everything together.
For all of you who play fantasy football, good luck today.
Yes, good luck to you guys, and don't have a heart attack on the couch.
And for all of you men and women who play fantasy dating on Bumble and Tinder, good luck today filling in your roster, okay? Because it's all just fantasy.
The roster for the week.
Yeah, exactly. I'll let you know tomorrow what my fantasy team did, and if I clinch my division, champagne is on me. You can drink it. I will buy it.